This is the behind the scenes and making of my project, The Nightman Rises. Pre-warning, an apology for the sound of my voice. As I'm making and recording this, I do have tonsillitis, so it's not pleasant to listen to, but time is ticking. So I started out knowing through the mood board research that I wanted to have an aesthetic of sort of the nights and surrealism. I've particularly found some images by an artist where they were depicting the night as man, and I really was drawn to these images, which I thought were very playful and sort of melancholic, and I really liked the idea of portraying the night as decided that doing, as I wanted to incorporate the night motif, the best way to also use collage would be to go from day to night. So I picked 8 types of day that had different colourings and made about 30 collages to represent this in 4s, so that the time of day would be sweeping across in that collage format. My original plan was to collage the river, but it's ended up, after trying to do a collage of the whole landscape, including the river, I thought it looked very busy and too muddy to look at, and I wanted the river to have be more of a focus point to sort of centre the animation. I first tried painting, but this was very difficult and it didn't look very good. It took a lot of time, so I scrapped that, and then when looking for inspiration of river illustrations, I came across some lino prints which I thought looked really effective, and the aesthetic of print, it's very contrast and would have that focal element that I wanted. Came up with a plan to do 4 different lino cuts of the current at different points, and then switch these through per so many frames to make it look as though the river was moving through and a current was happening. I also wanted to include the sky being reflected in the river, so I decided to colour match the sky with my prints. Obviously you can only print sort of really in black and white, so I thought I would paint, after I'd printed them, I would paint them with watercolour to show the different colours and the sky and the river being the same. The first day of filming was very unsuccessful. The colouring of the river was very bad. The way the watercolour blended with the ink and kept going out of focus, and the actual animating of things in it didn't look good, and it just didn't work out how I wanted it to at all. So I decided to just restart and create a plan to start filming again in January and make improvements for reprinting the river and maybe try to make the collage less flat. On the second round of filming, I decided I wanted to make the stop motion more dimensional than just a flat digital collage. So I brought some collage materials in, decided to work over the top of the collage with these materials to give it that extra dimension and depth. Overall, I was very happy with my second round of filming. I thought compared to the first, it was much more what I wanted. Like, my idea was much more brought to life. I was happy with the end result. I think that it could be less. It didn't take long. I just used a free sound website. I knew what I wanted it to sound like, so it was quite easy to pick what I wanted and place it where, and use the software to do that. And I am happy with the predominantly with the end result, but I do think that technically it could be very improved, and if I'd have managed time better, I could have refined the printing and the colouring process, but found an easier, more effective way to do the collage.